When you need mealtime inspiration, it's worth shopping Kroger for thousands of appetizing ingredients that inspire countless mouthwatering meals. And no matter what tasty choice you make, you'll enjoy our everyday low prices. Plus, extra ways to save, like digital coupons worth over $600 each week and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump with points. So you can get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
What's good, boys and girls? Two-footed extra. Today is Monday. It is the 4th of November, and the one big story we have today is that Edu is to leave his role as the sporting director of Arsenal. So he obviously played for the Gunners between 01 and 05, won 2 league titles, was part of the squad that went unbeaten in the league in 03-04. He came back to the club as technical director in 2019. He was kind of the driver of hiring Mikel Arteta. He was promoted to sporting director in the summer of 2020. He has been massive in their recruitment, in their vision, in the direction they've taken. And now, out of the blue seemingly, he has decided to move on. Now, there is some suggestion that he has been lured elsewhere. There is suggestions that there's been a falling out between himself and Mikel Arteta, that Arteta has seized more and more power in recent years based on back-to-back league title wins, and obviously Arteta recently signed a new contract which seemingly gave him more control, and now Edu has decided to leave, and the reporting around a potential replacement is that Arteta is going to be heavily involved in picking the new sporting director, which is always a sign that a club is going in the wrong direction. The manager should report to the sporting director. They should have no input in the sporting director's appointment. What we're about to see at Arsenal, I believe, is a similar situation that we saw at Liverpool when Jurgen Klopp forced Michael Edwards and then Julian Ward out the door, and then handpicked Jörg Schmadtke to come in as the new sporting director. But in Schmadtke's own words, Jurgen didn't answer to him, he answered to Jurgen. And if that's the situation we see at Arsenal, I would be very concerned if I was an Arsenal fan. There is no example of a manager in the modern game having success with this type of structure, not one. No example. At every club that has been successful across the board in the major European leagues in the past 10 years, you've had a sporting director above a manager making the decisions about recruitment, being the driving force on the direction, while the manager manages. And the clubs that have gone away from that, and the managers that have gone away from that, have not had success. Now, Edu has not been, I don't think, nearly as good at Arsenal as people have made out. And later in the week, once he is officially left, we'll look at his track record. We'll look at the signings made under his tenure. I think you'll be surprised about how many of them have not worked out. And then there's even more that were bought for a certain position where they overpaid and those players didn't work out in those positions, but then they salvaged them. I think some of them, Arteta was probably a driver behind some of them. But this news has just come out of nowhere. And I'm sure there'll be more reporting on it the next day or two, firming up, what Arsenal are going to do and what Edu's going to do later. But it's not what you want to see at this stage of a season when you are trying to win a league title. It's very unusual, especially the fact that he's not like he's leaving at the end of the season. Like, when Michael Edwards resigned as Liverpool sporting director, he told them 8 months in advance. Julian Ward did the same thing. But Edu is seemingly leaving very soon. Like, Kiki Begiristain has told City he's leaving at the end of the season. Not now. He's not going to disrupt the season. He's not going to disrupt the planning, the execution. He's going to leave at the end of the season. City can plan then replacement. They've done that, getting Hugo Viana in. I'm very curious to see who Arsenal go for as well. The rumoured job that Edu is going to take is with Evangelos Marinakis, who is the owner of Forest and Olympiacos, and allegedly Edu is going to take over overseeing both operations for him. We'll wait and see if that gets confirmed. But Marinakis has lost his own appeal against a 5-game stadium ban. He was found guilty of improper conduct for spitting on the floor as match officials walked by him. 5 games for spitting on the floor. Do please go, if you have a subscription to The Athletic or a way to get around their paywall, do go and read Daniel Taylor's most recent piece about this man and what's going on around him. He seems to be completely innocent in it, but you never know. But go and read that piece. It is wild. Absolutely wild. There's a piece up about Vinicius on the BBC website, him against the world. I'm sorry, I just can't get into this whole thing of Real Madrid or ever, them against the world. Now, I understand Vinicius has had to go through some horrendous things in his life, and in particular in the last couple of years with the horrendous racism that he's been subjected to. But I'm never, ever going to believe that anybody at Real Madrid, anybody, is them against the world. They have everything going for them. Absolutely everything. There's a lot of talk around United and the problems that they face and what's going to happen with Manchester United under Amorim. Is he the man that can get them back on track? And all we can do is wait and see. So a lot of these articles, a lot of this speculation is kind of meaningless right now. But people have to fill column inches. I'm going to go to break. I'm going to come back and do the gossip. We'll do Sunday and today. Take care. See you in a sec. Right, welcome back. So, Liverpool are keen to improve their squad in January and are interested in Aurelien Tchouameni from Real Madrid. Now, recent reports suggest he has been made available by Real, and obviously he picked Real over Liverpool. So it would make sense that Liverpool, who tracked him for a number of years, would be very interested if he is available. And I would be thrilled to see him brought in. Brian Mbeumo and Antoine Semenyo are among the players been scouted by Liverpool, with Mo Salah in the final year of his contract. West Ham want to sign Botafogo's Brazilian forward Igor Jesus in a £30 million deal. Okay. That's quite a lot to pay for a 23-year-old in Brazil. But he is a very good player. And West Ham do have a need for a striker, though they did spend big money on Nicholas Fulkrug. He only just moved to Botafogo a few months back. He's having a decent campaign, not exactly lighting things up, but they're doing very well. He played 4 years in Dubai prior to that, and the numbers are okay, but for a £30 million player, I would want a better track record personally. We'll see if anything comes of that. It could just be garbage. Manchester United want to buy a young gem to grow into a superstar at the club, and believe one player that could fit is Chris Rigg of Sunderland. I think there'll be a lot of competition for his signature. Galatasaray now hope to sign Victor Osimhen on a permanent basis, having taken him a season-long loan and are willing to pay $42 million. I don't know that Napoli will take that price, but I could see them doing maybe 60, which is a loss on what they paid, but that situation I don't think is salvageable between him and Napoli. West Ham have joined a number of clubs keeping tabs on Ademola Lookman. Chelsea are eyeing a summer move for Karim Adeyemi, who's been a target of Liverpool. Chelsea just want to sign everybody, don't they? the prospect of Xabi Alonso and Florian Wirtz both joining Real Madrid is becoming more realistic. I still don't see Wirtz going there, but maybe he will. Real Madrid could rival Arsenal and Chelsea with the signing of Vitor Rias from Palmeiras. I don't think Arsenal have any real hope of getting him. I could see Chelsea making that move. But Real would suit him. Real would suit him very well. Stefan Ortega is on Bayer Leverkusen's radar, but they are yet to make a concrete approach for the 31-year-old. Thomas Tuchel has been given permission to split his time between London and Munich when he takes over as the England manager in January. Victor Gyökeres is certain to leave Sporting next summer with Manchester United, Manchester City, Arsenal, Chelsea, Paris Saint-Germain, Juventus, and AC Milan all expressing interest in the striker. He will have a lot of suitors. He will get whatever move he wants in the summer. Moving on to today's gossip. Trent Alexander-Arnold is Real Madrid's favourite to reinforce their right-back position. We've known this for 2 years. Newcastle have placed Brian Mbeumo on the wanted list, and Brentford have set a £50 million price tag. Arsenal are lining up Mohamed Kudus as a replacement for Leandro Trossard. Yes, they're going to take the 10 million for Trossard and then add 75 million to it to pay 85 million for Mohamed Kudus to be a backup. That definitely seems like something that's going to happen, doesn't it? Victor Gyökeres does not plan to follow Ruben Amorim to Manchester United. Yeah, I don't think United will actually be in for a striker. Reims Ivory Coast forward Umar Diakate will be a top target for Crystal Palace if contract talks stall with Jean-Philippe Mateta. Manchester United and Chelsea have joined Tottenham in the race for Patrick Dorgu. United would make the most sense. They're the one most in need of a left back. Tottenham, having him and a doggy would be tremendous to have both of them as your left back options. English midfielder Lewis O'Brien is set to make a permanent £7 million move to LAFC when his loan from Nottingham Forest ends in January. Julian Lopetegui is under increasing pressure of an early exit at West Ham after being told that results must improve. Paris Saint-Germain and Randall Kolo-Muani are open to a loan move in January with an option to buy, and some Premier League clubs have already made requests to sign the France forward. I wouldn't rule out Arsenal there. If they can do a loan with an option, I wouldn't rule out Arsenal. Barcelona are monitoring Rafael Leao, yada, yada, yada. We've been hearing this for weeks. Real Madrid have begun to question Vinicius Jr.'s commitment to the club and are concerned he would consider leaving. I doubt that's true. Chelsea and Paris Saint-Germain are also interested in Vinicius, and Real will meet with his representatives in a few weeks to discuss his future. Santos are in talks to bring Neymar back to the club when his contract with Al Hilal expires next summer. What a grift the whole Neymar to Saudi thing has been. So, it's not his fault, obviously, but he joins them in August of 2023, I believe for a fee of 70 million. 75 million, excuse me. He's reportedly being paid 150 million a year. Then he tore his ACL, 6 weeks after signing? I think 6 weeks after signing, he tears his ACL and misses out on most of his time there. And then he's now back playing. He's played once, and he's out of contract in the summer. He's played 6 games for them in a year and a month that he's been there. Played 6 games, 1 goal. He's earned 150 million, and he's out of contract at the end of the season. It's just farce. If the Saudis are confused by why the league is not working out, it's because of nonsense like this. Lazio are one of the clubs interested in signing James Rodriguez if he brings his short stint with Rayo Vallecano to an end. And there we go. That's it. That's me for today. I'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.
This podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.